It's a blessing to welcome on one of the top recruits and one of the first commits to Wisconsin's 2021 recruiting class, Chucky Hepburn. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. Well, let's just kind of get into this. You've been committed for quite some time now. You're going to be going to Wisconsin, but as you get closer and closer now to getting on campus, what's it feel like?
I'm just focused on right now in high school. I'm not really focused on the college yet. I'm focused on my last year and being able to win a state championship and focusing on my schoolwork and make sure my GPA is up and ready to go for college.
All three of the commits so far, you, Matt, and Chris, have been committed for over a year now. Just kind of having that locked in, not having to deal with this whole COVID adjustment period. What was that like?
It actually it's really relaxing knowing that I already got my school picked out and we all know where we're going and not having to deal with the recruiting part. So it feels good to be able to have that figured out already.
No, you didn't know this was gonna be COVID. You didn't know this was gonna come in when you originally committed, though. But that at the time was kind of weird. I mean, you guys committed really early. One of the first guys in your entire class to commit. Why did you know that was the right time?
Soon as I stepped on the campus, the very first visit, I just knew it was the right school for me. But I didn't commit right on the spot because, of course, I had to see other schools. But the every time I visited other schools, I didn't get the same feeling that Wisconsin gave me. So I really loved Wisconsin, and I love the everybody that's surrounding the program.
Was there anyone else that you would say was a top candidate for you? Is there anyone else you really were considering?
I would say Creighton and Loyola Chicago were both in the top candidates. We're probably top three, if I'm being honest. But Wisconsin just became the best program for me, best fit.
As I said, you have Chris there, you have Matt there. What's your bond like with them now? As you guys kind of been talking for about a year now.
For sure. I talk to Matt every once I catch up with him and Chris. I haven't talked to him for a while, but we still stay in touch. And I know he's doing good things up in Chicago, and so is Matt.
Now you guys have about a year to get on campus. You specifically though, what do you want to improve on and work on over the next year so that you know you're ready to go as a freshman?
Uh, I just want to be able to shoot the ball way better than I did the past couple of years because I know I was a really streaky shooter, but I want to become a consistent shooter.
Now, Wisconsin's a program that everyone's always shocked by. They don't necessarily have the best of the best commit there every year, but they're a program that's constantly in the mix for winning games, a nice tournament run each year. And last year they finished third in the Big Ten, another Big Ten season for them. How appealing is it just to see the winning and the kind of the winning history they have?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Ever since they started in 2015, the championship run, I followed Wisconsin. So to see them to keep improving every season is it's a good feeling.
I don't think anyone's going to forget that year. They're the first team and the only team to beat the undefeated Kentucky team at the time. And that really started kind of momentum now. As I said, they're leading the third in the Big Ten last year. And this year, they have high expectations, possibly going to win the Big Ten since not many guys graduated. They had Big Ten players for 2020. What's the next growth for them? I mean, what's the next level Wisconsin basketball can reach?
We have really high expectations for it coming in, but we know we still have work to do. We can't just expect the good things to happen. We still have to work for it. So we're just going to when we come in, class 21 comes in, we're going to work our tails off.
2020 is a loaded class. They have a top 100 guy, Ben Carlson. Lauren Bowman, I think, is a top 100 player, in my opinion. They have the twins. They have Steven. Do you happen to know any of those guys, though?
Um, I like the past couple of years. I watched Steven and both Steven and Ben at D1 Minnesota, but I really didn't know any of the other guys. And I guess I did know both of the twins because I grew up playing with them or playing against them with Wisconsin Playground, but I really didn't know Lauren or the other two walk-ons.
And Lauren's a guy that I think is going to be a really underrated guard. He's someone I think will take over in the next year or so. How do you guys kind of look to mesh? I mean, when you get out there, he's probably going to be there still. How do you guys kind of look to share the guard role?
For sure. We both can play both the one and two, so and we're both really underrated going into Wisconsin. So I think we'll both be a big shockers to everybody in the NCAA.
That's a huge thing. I mean, I just obviously had a post about the rankings, and you're a guy that kind of fits that same category. You're not ranked super high, but look at your numbers. You look at what you bring to a team. I think you're a guy that can really go out there and dominate college basketball. You're a guy that just fits the typical guy that can lead a college basketball program. What can Wisconsin fans expect for you? What kind of player can they expect to see you when you get out there?
They can expect a leader, somebody that's going to push the pace and hold the team high and be able to guard the guards and then still play. They're going to get fast pace from me. They're going to get a player that plays hard all the time.
People are starting to see watching the NBA playoffs how critical having a big time point guard is. And college kind of in the same thing. We see the best teams each year, the champions from each season, have an elite point guard. How did you be able to become that for Wisconsin?
Right, I don't really like to talk about myself, but I think I'm a really skilled point guard, and I involve my teammates, so I'm really good at getting my teammates involved, and that yeah.
Absolutely. Now talk about Coach Guard a little bit. He's obviously the head of this thing. What's your relationship like with him?
I just talked to him about on last Monday. But I love Coach Guard. We always have good conversations when we talk with each other, and he makes me smile all the time. So I love Coach Guard, and I love the whole coaching staff.
We see coaches as what they do on the court, how they coach, the personality that way. How about off the court though? What's like as another man off the court?
Oh yeah, he's just another person. He's a really positive person. I love that about him. He's always positive, and he's always just welcoming as well. When I went on the official visit to Wisconsin and we went to his house, he was just really welcoming. I felt at home.
That's awesome. And you're going to be playing the Big Ten, one of, if not the best conference in America. How excited are you to be a part of that?
I'm really excited. I know everybody's always fighting to be the best in the or being best in a nation, but I think Wisconsin has a big chance of being one of the top programs in the next 4 years, next 4 to 5 years.
I couldn't agree more, man. And having that is going to cause it kind of create that culture. We see Wisconsin has that. We mentioned that earlier, but you guys kind of fulfill this now because after next year, a lot more openings will come up. How does this be able to continue that culture and be able to create this next era of basketball for Wisconsin?
I make sure we're all focused on one goal, and we have to be able to have that team bond that we need to have, and everybody needs to play hard all the time. So, and I think that's going to happen because we all come from winning programs: D1 Minnesota, Team Family, Team Factory, and South Dakota Tech. So we all come from winning programs. We all know how to win. So we just put that together, we'll be able to become a good program.
We mentioned three of you guys now locked in for 2021. Are there any other targets? Are there any other guys you'd like to bring on alongside you?
Yeah, Hunter Sallis was one, but he cut his list down to 12, and he's Wisconsin Outler now. But another one is Lucas Taylor. I really want Lucas Taylor. I think we have a high chance at letting him, but if he doesn't come, then it's okay because we still have other players in the class of 22, and we still have a load of class of 20s left too. So I'm really excited about the future for Wisconsin.
Lucas is another one of those guys that's just underrated, and that's what Coach Gard brings in. As I mentioned earlier, there's not a lot of guys that are five-star recruits that go to Wisconsin. So a lot of these underrated guys that take 2-3 years to develop, but then all of a sudden you guys blow up and become NBA prospects. What are you most looking forward to when you look at the development process and seeing what Coach Gard can bring you and develop you into?
Right. All the assistant coaches have professional experience. Coach Dean Oliver, Coach Orlando Tucker, and Coach Joe Krabenhoff. They all have professional experience, so they all know what it takes to get to the next level. And Coach Gard is just going to mentor us into being one of the top players as well.
I never like asking this question to you guys are committed, but growing up as a kid, who's your dream school? What was the team you really like going to, and what was kind of dream possibly playing out as a kid?
Right. My dream schools were Oregon and Creighton growing up. It was Creighton because this is everybody Omaha kids' dream school growing up because we all went to the game and everything. But Oregon, like around middle school, became my dream school as well. But yeah.
That's awesome. Well, you've been able to have an opportunity to go out there and start playing basketball again. You're out there in Nebraska, and you guys have had some tournaments, had some camps. Just what if they to get back on the court, though?
It feels so good. I actually just came from 2 games for fall league for high school, and then we leave tomorrow for Kansas City for AAU. So it just feels so good to be able to go back out there. No, some states are still shut down. Yeah, it feels good to be able to go out there and play.
It wasn't the ideal final year you guys obviously wanted, but you guys got, like I said, quite a few games in. So when you got back on there, did it take some time to adjust and get used to playing again?
Not really because throughout like the summer we kind of stayed working out. We were able to work out and stuff. So when we got back on the court, everything just clicked together, and we all play hard. So when we play hard, we usually play good together. So
You're in a state of Nebraska where it's not necessarily known for a lot of players, but right now you guys have kind of a hot spot in terms of big players. You guys have Donovan, yourself. You mentioned Hunt earlier. What's like just seeing this kind of rise in Nebraska basketball?
Right. Growing up, we've always had good Nebraska players, but they've just always been overlooked in high school. Like Tradeon Hollins, he was a good player. Trayshawn Thurman, but they're all gone now. So, but just knowing that me and Hunter were really one of the ones that put Nebraska on the map, and now more coaches are starting to see how many good players are coming out of Nebraska.
And you were able to come away this past season with Gatorade Player of the Year. What did it feel like to be able to get that award?
Right, that was actually kind of a surprise to me because one day I woke up and a mail came in and it was a package Gatorade Player of the Year, and I just didn't know what it was. And then a few weeks later, it came out that I won Gatorade Player of the Year, and so it was just a big shock to me. But it was also a blessing to be able to win the award, knowing that Hunter, Donovan, and a couple of big time other players are in the state, and I came out with the award.
So what was the moment like when you learned that you won Gatorade Player of the Year? Take us through what was going through your mind.
I couldn't believe what happened. The first thing I checked my phone and my Twitter was just blowing up, and everybody was just congratulating me, and I was just in shock. I couldn't believe what happened. I ran downstairs and showed my parents.
What were their reactions?
They were really happy. They were shocked as well. They didn't know that was coming either, especially my dad.
That's awesome. And so now you look coming in your senior season, you're our state champion, you were Gatorade Player of the Year. You really have a lot of accolades that every high school player dreams of having. What's your next goals? What do you want to accomplish on your senior season?
I want to finish back-to-back for my senior season. We lost 8 seniors last year, which is going to be hard for us, but we have a good junior class coming in as well, and then a good two players from sophomore class and 2 players from good freshman class. So I think we have high expectations for this year as well.
You average 17.3 points per game, almost 700 assists, 5 rebounds, over 3 steals a game. What's the next level? What are you capable of doing now as being really the go-to senior leader and the reigning Gatorade Player of the Year?
As far as points, I'm not really concerned as much because I impact the game so many ways without having to score, and we still come out on top. So I really want to average close to 10 assists this year, close to 7 rebounds, and close to 5 steals a game.
That's big time. And you're scoring something special. Not only were you Gatorade Player of the Year, also you guys had a football player that won Gatorade Player of the Year as well. What's it feel like to kind of have just the Gatorade Player of the Year as got the same school?
We also won state championship football that year too, the same year. So we're probably the first to ever do that in state history. So W West is just one of the top schools in Nebraska, and to be at one of the top schools in Nebraska is just a really good feeling.
You also were able to play with your brother last year, Trey. What was that like?
Man, I've been playing with him since I came out the womb. It's crazy to see us not playing together anymore. Him playing college, but he's a defender. I really loved him as a defender because he could guard one of the top players on the court and gave me a little time to take a break on defense.
Now, next season, obviously, you don't play with him, but look back at all your memories playing together on all different levels. What's some of the first memories that come to mind with him?
He's honestly the one that showed me the real defense. Like I didn't really start playing defense up until 8th grade when he really started locking in on defense. So I think the defense part definitely came from him.
That's big time. Now, the first memory you think of him, both on and off the court, what is that?
First memory, guys, it go way back. Probably when I hit the game winner. When I had a game winner in like 3rd grade, and he just came in and jumped on me. It was just a good feeling knowing my brother had my back, and he was just really happy for me.
You do have that clutch gene. We've seen you now play AAU this year, and you've had a couple game winners. One specifically, I think it was the first, second weekend back. How have you learned to adjust that where you know that you can take over a game and you know you're going to be the guy shooting the ball with the last shot of the game?
I'm just a really calm player. I just know, like, I've had experience since, like, 3rd grade. I'm doing it for 3rd grade. So I just have experience in doing it. So I'm just really calm. And I either look to take the shot or kick to find somebody open.
So when did you start realizing that you were not only going to be a great basketball player, but you're going to be a high major player and you're going to be a ranked player?
It was probably around 8th grade. I got invited my eighth grade year to my eighth grade summer year to UNO camp, and the coaches came up and talked to me and told me that I was going to be a really good player, but I really didn't take off until I want to say midway through my freshman year season. I scored 40 points in the game and broke the freshman scoring record in the state.
Absolutely. Go back to Wisconsin. A couple more questions to that before I start letting you go, man. One is you're going to be a top 20 all-time commit. 247 as your number 19. To have that accolade and know that you're one of the highest commits in Wisconsin history, what does that mean to you?
Um, it means a lot, but I really don't try to focus on it. I know rankings really don't matter at all. So if we can't do nothing and show nothing when we go into Wisconsin, it's not going to mean anything. So we just got to stay focused and make sure we come up on top.
Couldn't agree more, man. We talked about Big Ten earlier, but out of all the teams in that conference, who are you most looking forward to playing against?
I gotta say Michigan State in Michigan. I've always wanted to play in those stadiums because I heard it's really loud. So I'm really excited to play against them.
That's awesome, man. I was like wrapping up discussing building a legacy for yourself, and that's something I think all guys want to do. So when you are done playing basketball someday, what do you want your legacy to be, and what do you want to be remembered for what you do both on and off the court?
I want to be remembered for giving back to my community. Because I know at my city, like a lot of top players, they go and play professional, but really don't give back to their city. So I want to be able to go on and become a high major player, and then be able to give back to my city as well, and show and give kids an opportunity to play basketball that didn't really have the opportunity. Because I grew up with a lot of kids that had potential, but they just didn't have an opportunity to play. So I want to be able to make sure these kids have those opportunities to play.
There's so many ways of giving back. We see a lot of players come back and make their own club team. We see some guys go build different rec centers and stuff like that. Is there one dream specifically that you want to do for your community?
I want to just be able to like put like a little gym or rec center or whatever in the projects, and give kids the chance to play, then get up off the streets, because there's a lot of kids that we lost to the streets that really had high potential.
That's awesome, man. I know you're also a believer. In Twitter, you have in your bio, AG2G. What does that mean to you?
Absolutely. All glory to God. It's always. I grew up a real Christian, and my parents always told me to always believe in God. And whenever times get hard, just pray to God, and things will always be okay. And turn to God whenever things go bad. And my grandma's she's really into Christianity. So I just love God, and I always put my faith into Him.
I think growing up in a Christian background, we're obviously grown to kind of love God. We see the idea of it. But when would you say click that you really started to have a personal relationship with Him and really started taking it kind of under your own understanding and really started having your own relationship with God?
I gotta say, it was around fifth grade. It was probably like a rough year for me, but I turned to God, and like that summer, it just the whole lot of things just changed. So I just started becoming in love with God around that time.
That's awesome, man. Now, as you move your way up to college, pros after that, how do you look to be able to continue to spread God's word and be able to shine His light in His kingdom?
Right. I just got to use my social media big time, because I know I have a good little following on social media. So I have to use my social media to be able to spread the word, and also just go out in the community and speak to people and show them what God's will is.
Amen, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today. Best luck with the upcoming season, man, and keep being the light.
For sure. Thank you.
Of course, man. You're always welcome on, man. God bless.